The Travel Transformation Podcast is proud to be partnered with Give the Goodness Global, an amazing global outreach project helping families in need all over Southeast Asia and beyond. Please check them out at Instagram.com/Give the Goodness Global today. And now on to the podcast episode.
Welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast, where we talk all things travel and all things transformation, exploring the life-changing potential of solo travel, intentional travel, and location-independent working. Whether you're an aspiring digital nomad or simply wish to boost your confidence through epic travel experiences, I'm here to motivate and inspire you to go after all your wildest dreams. I'm Jessica Grace Coleman, author, certified travel coach, founder of the Travel Transformation Company, and your host for the Travel Transformation Podcast. Travel changed my life. Now let's change yours. You ready? Let's go. Hello, and welcome to the Travel Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, though you can call me Jess. And this is just going to be a quick solo episode. I thought I'd start doing some spotlight episodes on some of my favourite places. And I wanted to start with Stratford-upon-Avon, which is about an hour and a half from my hometown of Stafford in the Midlands in England. And yeah, this one is titled Spotlight on Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare, Swans and the Magic of the Past. Ooh. So yeah, I love Stratford. It's just one of my favourite places, and the fact that it's near to my hometown is a bonus. I'm not like the biggest Shakespeare fan. I've read quite a few plays. I've watched more plays, but obviously you cannot deny that the dude was the OG in terms of wordsmithery, and I'm all about words and writing, and you cannot be an English writer, without sort of bowing down to Shakespeare. And, you know, I love all the things. You get books and like memes and stuff on all the modern day phrases that we use today because Shakespeare wrote them in his plays, and most of the time we don't even realise they're from Shakespeare plays and we're saying them. So I love that. But I just love the town of Stratford as well because it is super, super, super cute. If you've not been, it's all lots of old Tudor buildings, you know, black and white with the wood. I'm really doing a great job of describing this, aren't I? Sort of some thatched roofs going on, but mainly the sort of black and white timber buildings that were around in Shakespeare's day. And the fact that a lot of the buildings still are there from Shakespeare's day is really cool, I think. I love going there, wandering around, thinking how it would have been like when Shakespeare was there. I read a great book, Hamnet, which is like a fictional book, but based on sort of some truth of Shakespeare's son, Hamnet, who died. I think it's also kind of Hamlet, the name. A lot of names and words that were written down back then, a lot of people couldn't actually write or read. And so a lot of letters are sort of changed over the years. So I think Hamnet and Hamlet are kind of the same. Could be wrong on that. But it's a sad book, obviously, because we know the kid's going to die. But it's written in a really wonderful way, and the way they described Stratford and London as well. It's partly set in London with the globe and everything. And yeah, it's just a magical book. And I recommended that book, Hamnet, to my friend Caitlin, who's from New Jersey, when I met her in the Basque Country a couple of years ago. And then she came to England a few months after that, and she asked me, like, where do you think I should go? And I was like, oh, we were talking about Shakespeare and stuff. She loves reading as well. I was like, you should totally come to Stratford and I can come and meet you. So we did. But I've been to Stratford many, many times with many different people, sometimes just a day trip on the train. I remember going for a cider and beer festival with my friends many, many years ago now, which was cool. But it was at the racetrack. I think it's called Stratford Racetrack. Might have made that up. And we walked there from Stratford instead of getting a taxi. It wasn't too far, but we sort of walked along the road out into the fields, and we got to the racing track, and we could see cider festival, but we were at completely the wrong end and all the like gates and things are closed, so we had to walk all the way around and it took forever. But yeah, that was fun. I don't know if they still do the cider and beer festival. I'm going to have to look that up. Now I know which entrance to go to at the racetrack. Yeah, so I've been there. I've been for like a week, like a couple weekends with people, with friends. We did a writing retreat one a few years ago, me and my friends Gemma and Lauren. We all like writing, so we went there, got the really, really cute little Airbnb next to the Jester statue, if you know where that is. We had afternoon tea, we went and did a ghost tour at Tudor World, and yeah, just had a really cool, chill time. Things I love about Stratford. So there's obviously the river Avon. It's, very cute. I do love a good river. But there's just something about the Avon at Stratford because there are swans everywhere, and obviously the swans are sort of all to do with Shakespeare. There's like little like canoe rowing boat things that you can hire. I think you can hire them. And they each have a name. They each have a female name, a female character. I think they're all female characters from Shakespeare. So I found my one, Jessica. My name was originally in a Shakespeare play. And you can do lots of stuff on the Avon. You can get a boat ride. I think you can do like boat rides with afternoon tea and that kind of stuff. There's also this really cute little sort of moving bridge, floating bridge that you can get from one side to the other. I think it was 50p a go last time I went, which is really cute. They've now got a big wheel, which I can't remember when they had that put in, but it's relatively recent, last few years, on one side of the river. Lots of great pubs. I think there's a couple of pubs that say they're the oldest pub in Stratford. I'm not sure which one it actually is, but one of them, sort of on the high street bit, they sell Shakesbeers, which I went in and had one with my friend Caitlin while we were there. And it's a really cute, rickety, old Tudor building pub. And let me just check the name of it. Oh yeah, so it's called the Garrick. And it looks amazing from the outside and the inside. And it is, it's on the High Street, 25 High Street. Now, there's also the Old Thatch Tavern, which is a couple of streets away. And I think that also claims to be the oldest pub. It's also very cute. I loved going there. They had on the wall next to the toilets, they had sort of clippings from newspaper articles of famous people who'd gone there. And I think Keira Knightley had gone there. And the Hoff, I think. So, yeah, very random. But I recommend going to the Garrick and the Old Thatch Tavern. Obviously, there's the Royal Shakespeare Theatre, which I'd been a few times. They've got an amazing gift shop. Even if you don't like Shakespeare, there's just really cool stuff there. I don't know if you can hear, there's a dog here. Oh, she just yawned. Tilly, the dog, has joined me. So if you can hear her, she wants to go for a WALK, even though she's an hour and a half early, aren't you? Anyway, if you're hearing weird noises, like yawns and stuff, it's not me, promise. So there's the Royal Shakespeare Company Theatre. There's a few theatres, but that's the main one. And it wasn't until 2022 when my friend Caitlin came over that I actually went and saw a play there. We went and saw Richard III, and it was really, really, really good. So I recommend doing that. It's a very cool theatre. It has like a bar and like the gift shop, as I said, and it's like right by the river. There's lots of great statues of Shakespeare and Shakespeare-related things in Stratford. And then obviously there's the actual historical places. The dog just yawned again. I don't know if you heard that. So my favourite is Shakespeare's Birthplace. And that is on Henley Street. And this is one of the buildings that is particularly described in the book Hamnet. So it was really interesting to read that, having gone there before. And then not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, I went for a day trip to Stratford with my friends. When the Christmas market was on, they have a Victorian Christmas market. I think people are meant to dress up as Victorians, like the stall holders and stuff. And some of them do, but a lot of them don't. So other than that, I'm not sure why it's Victorian, but there we go. And then we went to Shakespeare's Birthplace. As I say, I've been a few times. You can go actually inside to see his bedroom that he had, the kitchen, the gardens, really nice gardens. And they usually have like actors doing little bits of the plays in the gardens, which is really cool. But we went on a candlelit tour. So it was at Christmas. It was sort of done up for Christmas as it would have been during Shakespeare's time. The big table of food, candles everywhere. You had little battery-powered candles to hold as you went around. And it was just really cute. And then you had a mince pie and some mulled wine at the end. And there was like a little Shakespearean type quartet playing music. It was all very lovely. So that's called Shakespeare's Birthplace. They also have a great gift shop. Been in many a time. But there's also lots of other Shakespeare-related places you can visit in Stratford. There's also a Stratford Butterfly Farm, which I've never actually been to, but that sounds cool. There's also a few things I've not been to yet because it's not in the town centre. But, I mean, I'd really like to go visit them. Okay, so, all right, this isn't Shakespeare related, but I haven't been there. But I want to. It's called the MAD Museum, the Mechanical Art and Design Museum. And if you're on, I think it's on Henley Street, possibly, near the Justice statue, there's like a old red phone box. And inside it's been redone like to promote the MAD Museum. It has like loads of mechanical stuff inside and it all moves and it's really, really cool. So I can only imagine the MAD Museum is awesome. Like I say, there's Shakespeare's Birthplace itself. There's Bancroft Gardens, which is near the river, and it has lots of Shakespeare-related statues. Lady Macbeth has really creepy eyes. Go and check it out at night. There's also, I think it's a gin distillery there. If you're into gin, Shakespeare's Distillery. Very cool. Now there's Anne Hathaway's cottage. I know it's not the actress Anne Hathaway. It was Shakespeare's wife, Anne Hathaway. Is that right? I'm second guessing myself now. Anyway, should have done more research for this. So Anne Hathaway's cottage, I've not been there because it's a little further out, but it looks absolutely adorable. Lots of great gardens, flowers, thatched roofs, all that kind of stuff. Do you want to learn all about the 5 travel transformation principles, including how to conquer your fears through travel? Then you need to grab a copy of my travel transformation guide, written by me, Jessica Grace Coleman, as part of my Flip the Script Academy. It's totally free. All I ask for in exchange is your email address so I can keep you updated on all things travel and transformation. Just head to traveltransformationcoach.com/free guide to get your guide today. And now, let's get back to the Travel Transformation podcast. Okay, they have a town ghost walk as well, which I believe I've been on, but not for many years. There's also the Holy Trinity, which I went in during a weekend that I'm going to talk about in a bit, which was the first weekend I went there. And it's where Shakespeare's buried. So that's a reason to go, but it's also a very pretty church, very pretty churchyard. It's like right in the centre, like near the old town bit. So not far to go at all. And then there are a few other Shakespeare-related buildings and things, like I said before. So we have his birthplace. And then there's a place called Shakespeare's New Place, which was a house I think he bought afterwards, which I have been to. And that's good. I prefer the birthplace, the OG Shakespeare building. There's also his schoolhouse, so you can see where he went to school. Anne Hathaway's cottage, as I mentioned, and then there's also Mary Arden's farm, where I also haven't been. But it's the farm where Shakespeare's mother, Mary Arden, grew up. And if you read the book Hamlet, there's a lot of scenes set there as well. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend reading that if you're going to go to Stratford and look around. Do a walking tour, go to Tudor World, which is this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. We went on a ghost tour, but it's like inside a building. Lots of creepy animatronic people, that kind of thing. But really good. Lots of great pubs, as I said. Go to the Garrick and the Old Thatch Tavern. There's also the Dirty Duck, which I hope is still there. It's called the Dirty Duck, but it sort of has a different name as well. Like one side is called the Dirty Duck and the other one is the Black Swan. I think it used to be called the Black Swan. It has a little beer garden out the back, quite near the Royal Shakespeare Company Theatre. All very nice. Now, as I said, I went there a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, with my friend Caitlin from New Jersey, when we went to the theatre and everything. I've been there quite a few times, weekends, day trips, all the good stuff. In summer, it's always rammed, as you would expect. But the very first time I went, it was, I do believe, April 2016, possibly. It was basically the 500th anniversary of William Shakespeare's death. So I'm not entirely sure if they know exactly when he was born, so they can't celebrate that, possibly. But they basically called it his birthday. I think maybe he was born on the same day as his death day. I don't know. All I know is they were calling it his birthday celebrations, and it was really cool. So we got like a room in a B&B, I think. This was the days before Airbnb, or at least before we stayed in Airbnbs. And oh yeah, here we go. I'm looking at my pictures on Facebook now. So we stayed at Stretton House Bed and Breakfast. Very nice. And basically it was a whole weekend celebration of Shakespeare, but one day in particular. And there was this massive parade, like all the schools in the area took part. There were people dressed as Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway and ye olde timey people. The parade was really cool. Everyone was given like flags with Shakespeare's head on it. We had these like Shakespeare masks, which looked a bit terrifying, but was fun. And yeah, the parade went through the streets of Stratford, marching bands, all the good stuff, led by Shakespeare and his wife, and ended up at Trinity Church, where they were sort of, celebrating Shakespeare by going to his grave. And yeah, we went to the parade. We went to the Dirty Duck, which was near the church, for some drinks. Had some afternoon tea, which I think you have to do when you're there. I think we went to the Hathaway tea rooms. Oh, we also went to the Four Teas. I don't know if it's still there, but it's like Fourteas, and it's a 40s style, 40s themed tea room, which was really cool. But yeah, the parade went on for hours, I think. And we went in the church and went and fed the Swans, and we went around the museum, the gallery. So even if you don't go and see a play, you can do a tour of like behind the scenes, go and see all the dressing rooms and everything, go and see all those of the costumes, go to the gift shop, all that good stuff. There was this giant birthday card in the street that everyone was signing, which I thought was a really cool idea. Buskers everywhere, loads of photo opportunities with the statues and cut out heads, those kind of things. We went to the Birthplace. They were doing lots of like bits of the plays in the garden, as I said. And I just got to the picture of us signing the giant birthday card. Let's see, what did I put? I put, "Happy birthday, old Bill, you rock." Someone else had put, "Happy birthday, son, what a legend." Someone put, "You don't look a day over 400, Will. Happy birthday, Esther." "Happy birthday, Willie, you rock, 400 years young." Oh, it was 400 years, okay. Okay, I was having a slight panic then that I'd somehow time travelled 100 years. Yeah, I said it was the 500th anniversary because that's what Google told me, but actually it was the 400th. Very confusing. But yes, I did check, and apparently it's believed he was born on the 23rd of April and died on the 23rd of April. So there we go. And yeah, it's just a really nice place. It's one of those sort of quaint British places, but there's also a lot of stuff going on. Lots of events, obviously lots of plays going on, culturally type things. Tea houses, bars, old pubs selling Shakespeare, markets, cocktail places. We went to a really cool cocktail place last time, just opposite the Old Thatch Tavern. And yeah, like tea places, tea shops, gin shops, the river, boats, the theatre, statues. It's all good. If you're at all into Shakespeare, or even if you're not and you're just into quaint places with like thatched roof buildings and timber framed Tudor houses and ye oldie pubs, I would highly recommend going to Stratford. Have a look on Airbnb, see what's available now. I would put the link to where I stayed, but these were all years and years ago, so they might not be there now. But yeah, just have a search. Make sure you search for Stratford-upon-Avon and not just Stratford, because there is a Stratford in London and you might end up in the wrong place. And yeah, I love walking around these places that still have all the old buildings and just imagining what it's like in the past and what it was like for someone like Shakespeare and how he had no idea of the amazing legacy he would leave. Obviously, there are people who believe he wasn't just one man. There was like lots of them. But I like to think of good old Will wandering around the streets of Stratford. And obviously there are new buildings now, but I'd like to think it didn't look too different with all the ye olde buildings that are still there. Thinking up his plays, his characters, thinking up all the amazing phrases that would still be in use 400 years later. So I think that's really cool. So that was my spotlight on Stratford-upon-Avon. I highly recommend you go. If you have any other tips, please let me know, because I'm going to be going back there this year, definitely. You can email me at info@traveltransformationcoach.com or DM me on Instagram @traveltransformationcoach. And the dog just sighed really loudly and then sort of lay down. So if you heard that, I'm sorry. But until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you for listening to the Travel Transformation Podcast with me, Jessica Grace Coleman. If you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, rate and review, and spread the word, because it's my mission to help as many people as possible to flip the script on their lives and transform through travel. And remember, life is short, so let's make sure it's nothing short of amazing. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.